Hey everyone, good morning. We got some stats drop last night, and so naturally, we're going to take a look at them. I'm not really covering a whole lot else within the data mine, so if you were worried about that, you're going to be surprised by the accessories that are headed our way, and forging bonds and whatever else is coming around. By all means, this is no concern to you. Before we get going, quick shout out to the data miners over at GamePress. These stat screenshots are specifically from the Reddit user Zanuck. Quoted him many times on the channel before, so shout out to them and all the work that they do. You're amazing. Anyway, obligatory spoiler warning over. It's already out, actually, so I don't really know if it's a spoiler anymore. So let's just get into it. Let's just jump into it. Yes. All right. Bringing these guys up. We got stats. So I don't have a fancy skills chart for Aversa yet because I don't have anything to screenshot. So we'll wing that one. But first, let's take a look at Loki. Loki at level 40 has HP of 42, attack of 33, speed of 35, defense of 16, and res of 25. She is a staff unit, infantry based. She comes with Thok, I think that's how you say that. Restore plus, Earth, Water, Balm plus, which I think is new. C, dual infantry 3, and odd attack wave 3. So very strong skill set. The A slot, dual infantry 3 is kind of a work shift around the arena situation. I hope that's just like a misspell thing and not like a general fix that they're going with arena. But aside from that, you know, Loki stats look pretty decent. She's a pretty fast staff unit, honestly. 35 at neutral. That ain't half bad. Attack at 33 is not really that poor either. Defenses are kind of interesting. Res 25 isn't low necessarily, but I pictured her having higher res for some reason. Defense, you know, pretty standard of any magic type unit, staff unit included. So that much doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. I think the res is kind of lower than I was expecting, but beyond that, you know, I can't complain. Thok also has Wrathful Staff built in. It's kind of blurry there, but you can kind of see it. It does the same damage. I think, yeah, staff like other weapons. Yeah, calculates damage from staff like other weapons. Yeah, so you know, Loki's a pretty decent unit. I know she's like a fan favorite. Which, by the way, this banner was actually confirmed on Twitter. The developers chose high-ranking runner-ups from Choose Your Legends 2. So that's kind of what this is, which I was kind of freaking out in the trailer reveal video about. So it's nice to have that vindicated, and my freak out justified. Anyway, let's move on past Loki and go into my dude Kliff here. So Kliff, my boy. Kliff is looking at, where are you at? You're over here. Kliff is an infantry blue mage unit. Love my blue tones. He's got HP of 37, attack at 30, speed of 37, defense of 25, res of 28. And he's also got Sagate, which I think is how you pronounce that, and if it's not, I'm super sorry. Growing Light, Fort Defense Res 3, which I think everybody is on the lookout for. Chill Speed 3 and Fortify Res 3. I think Kliff is maybe a little bit stronger than Loki. He's not as unique, since Loki is specifically a hero's character. But for Defense Res 3 is pretty big. Granting defense res plus 6 and only inflicting -2 attack. That's pretty big. Defenses are pretty tanky, honestly. Attack is not going to be anything too spectacular. But if for some reason you held on to that free Takumi from way back when they swapped him for Virion, this might be the unit that you want to give close counter to. Just saying. Kliff is pretty built to handle the combats. He's there to handle the combats. And I mean, he's very, very fast. So, well, not very, very fast, but with a little bit of investment, and especially coming with chill speed, I think you could probably double quite a bit if you want to, you know, handle weapon differently. Not to mention, you know, the weapon skill alone kind of gives you the 5-point quad boost if the foe's attack is greater than the unit's attack plus 5. So the attack is not really all that important. In fact, because of the weapon skill, if you got an attack Bane, you're probably looking better than you would have been. Which is not something I think that anyone ever really says in Heroes, like, oh yeah, you want an attack Bane. Sometimes it doesn't matter. But here, it actually might benefit you a little bit. So that might be something to think about if you can manage to swing that. But everything else is kind of built to make him fast, very tanky, and, you know, with Growing Light, you're going to do true damage all around anyway. So I definitely think Kliff is a very strong unit, definitely worth your time if you're willing to pull, and fodder as well for Defense Res 3. But let's move on to Owain, because we almost there. Yeah, there we go. Owain. Alright, so my dude Owain over here. Owain is an infantry sword unit. No flyer, or, well, I shouldn't say that yet. No armored units. No no armored units that we have to deal with this time around. But Mistletoe, he's packing Mistletoe. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. HP of 41. We're doing stats first. Attack of 32, speed of 37, defense of 31, and res of 22. I kind of thought that he'd have more attack. But that's just kind of, you know, a thing. So he's packing Mistletoe, which you can see there is very, very fine print. We got Blue Flame, we have Attack Defense Bond 3, Wrath 3, and Spur Speed Defense 2. So Owain's kit is pretty good. Attack Defense Bond 3 is going to give you a 5-point boost for attack and defense when you're next to an ally. Wrath is a very, very useful B slot skill. And Blue Flame, which I also think is new, boosts damage by 10. If unit is adjacent to an ally, boosts damage by 25 instead. So if you've got anybody with guidance, Owain is a unit that you'd probably want to pack onto your team, just because, you know, he can do stuff when he's next to allies. Which I've noticed there's a lot more playability to that now. Especially with the bond skills that we've gotten, you know, units like Brave Redux, like things like that require units to be next to each other. They're becoming a lot more mainstream. Is that the right word? I don't know. It's not just about stacking spurs and whatnot anymore. So I think this is going to be interesting. The bond skills are probably one of my favorites in the game right now, just because you really have to think about your positioning a little bit more with them. And Owain tackles that really, really well. So for what that's worth, you know, he's very fast. He's got pretty good defenses, honestly. Like, he's got pretty good defenses. His attack is, like I said, a little bit lower than kind of what I was expecting, but you know, it's definitely cooped with the weapon. Mistletoe starts at 16 mount. So, you know, even at neutral attack with the weapon equipped, you're looking at hitting 48, which isn't bad. And then if you have the attack defense bond 3 activated, you know, you're well into the 50s at that point. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but he's probably the stronger unit on the banner. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say it's Owain, just because of the versatility and the skills that he has. While chill speed is very appealing on Kliff, we have that already. Not that we don't already have Wrath as well, but I feel like the bond skills tend to stack a little bit better. And then Fort Defense Res 3 is very useful. I don't know. They're pretty close. They're pretty close, but I'd have to give the edge to Owain. Although I think Kliff's functionality is more interesting. Either way, they're all three pretty great units. Now, if you're not concerned about Aversa, avert your eyes because we're going to be talking about her last. And again, I don't have a fancy little chart like I've had for these guys, but we can talk about her right now. So Aversa is a red tome flying unit. She's gonna be free. I think she's a GHB. Some of you guys were kind enough to point that out in the trailer reveal video, even though I literally had the Grand Hero Battle up on the screen when I put the calendar up. I just didn't see it because I was freaking out. But either way, we're gonna have Aversa. She's gonna be a free unit, and the stats are actually not too shabby. So she is a red tome flying unit. She's got HP of 42, attack of 33, speed of 34, defense of 17, and res of 24. And again, if you're new, or sometimes I have to remind myself of this when I'm talking about the stats and what you want Banes and Boons in, she is a free unit, so she's neutral, so this is what you're going to get. You're not going to have any variation in stats for that, since she's free. But we're looking at something that's kind of interesting in the sense that she is going to come with Aversa's Knight, which I'll talk about that in a second. Dragon Fang, HP speed 2, and odd res attack or odd res wave 3. And odd res wave 3 is actually unlocked at 4-star. So that's kind of interesting. So we're getting odd res wave 3 at 4-star, which is pretty cool. So let's look at her weapon skill. Where are we at? There we are. So Aversa's Knight grants res 3 plus 3. At start of turn, if foe's HP is less than or equal to unit's HP minus 3, and that foe is adjacent to another foe, inflicts attack speed, defense, res minus 3 on that foe, and bonuses on that foe become penalties through its next action. So we kind of have like a ploy type built in to Aversa's weapon, which is interesting to say the least. The HP there is of course the ticker, but overall pretty valuable weapon skill, honestly. I was never really a fan of Aversa in the Awakening games, but I mean I didn't hate her. But I'm sure everyone's really excited that we're getting her as a free unit. She's a flyer, so I know of one individual who will be very happy that we're getting a free flyer. But either way, all these units look pretty solid. Again, if I had to give the edge to one, Owain, but I think Kliff is also like really good. Aversa's free, and Loki has that appeal of being a unique to Fire Emblem Heroes character. So really cool banner. This is similar to the one that had Mia in it last year. I can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of like these are really popular units, but they're not really doing anything with them. So props to the developers to doing that. This is a really cool banner, kind of like a Brave Heroes Redux. Probably what it's called, Brave Redux. Anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Who do you think is the stronger unit in the banner? Are you excited about the Aversa? And if you haven't done so yet, we do have a Gleam contest going on. It was originally for the Halloween banner, but it's getting chosen on the 31st. So you're going to have a whole mess of banners to kind of like go in and choose from if you win. So if you wanted to check that out, it's a daily, I think, as well. So you have like one free entry every day if you come back to it. But we're giving away $15 to iOS or Android. If you want to, feel free to check that out. Link is in the description. But yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. I gotta go get ready for work because that's my life now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.